Hi, my name is Jessica Zhang, and I'm here as an intern for Interns for Good, and today I'm going to be talking about the Pythagorean Theorem. In this lesson, students will learn the history and how to apply the Pythagorean Theorem. This lesson is applicable for students in 6th grade, and some skills you will acquire include understanding the history, applying the theorem, and also learning the importance of the Pythagorean Theorem. As a background, we have to learn who is Pythagoras. Pythagoras proved the Pythagorean theorem, and he was a highly gifted Greek mathematician, and he dedicated his life to learning. The theorem was first known in ancient Babylon, but was popularized and proved by Pythagoras. Therefore, he is credited for the theorem. For the Pythagorean theorem, you need a right triangle. A right triangle is a triangle that has one side as 90 degrees, and you can tell it's 90 degrees by a little square in the corner. For a right triangle, there are three sides represented by the variables a, b, and c. A and b are known as the legs of a triangle, and a leg of the triangle is one of the sides. C is referred to as the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is opposite the 90-degree angle, which you can tell from the red arrow, and also the longest side. The formula for the Pythagorean theorem is the sum of leg a squared and leg b squared equals the hypotenuse squared. This is a quick practice problem that gives you a equals 3 and b equals 4. In the blue box is the Pythagorean theorem formula that you can plug into. A squared equals 3 squared, which equals 9. B equals 4, so b squared equals 4 squared, which equals 16. After that, we have 25 equals c squared. To undo a square, you have to take the square root of both sides. The square root of c squared equals c, and the square root of 25 equals 5. So c equals 5. A quick way to double check if your answer is possible is if c is larger than the a and b value. In this case, 5 is larger than a, and 5 is also larger than b, meaning that it is a possible solution. This is a quick problem that you can try on your own. It gives you the values of both of the legs as the previous problem did. Feel free to pause the screen to see if you can solve this problem on your own. We are given the values of both of the legs. A equals 6 while b equals 8. 6 squared equals 36 and 8 squared equals 64. 36 plus 64 equals c squared, which means 100 equals c squared. To undo a square, you have to take the square root of both sides. The square root of c squared equals c, and the square root of 100 equals 10, meaning the hypotenuse value is 10. The previous two problems showed how you can solve for the hypotenuse using two of the legs, but what if you only have the values of one of the legs and the hypotenuse? This is an example of a leg and hypotenuse value problem. However, you can still use the Pythagorean theorem to solve for leg A. The first step is to substitute with the values you are given, which is c equals 5 and b equals 4. 5 squared equals 25 and 4 squared equals 16, which leaves you with 25 equals a squared plus 16. You want to move the a value to one side of the equation because you are solving for a. To get 16 to the other side, you have to subtract 16, so 25 minus 16 equals 9. This leaves you with a squared equals 9. To undo a square, you have to take the square root. The square root of a squared equals a, and the square root of 9 equals 3. So the value of leg a equals 3. Pythagorean theorem is also helpful because it can be used to find the values of a square. Once you find one value of the square side, it can be used to find the area and perimeter because the square has all equal sides. It's also a really good stepping stone for geometry as well because beginner geometry involves finding shapes and the dimensions. This is a diagram showing Pythagorean theorem with squares. The right triangle used in Pythagorean theorem is actually made up of 3 squares. Each side of a square is equal, so once you find the value of the hypotenuse or leg, you can find out the area and the perimeter of the square using that one value. The Pythagorean theorem is helpful because it can help you find the sides of a triangle, find the perimeter, area, and missing lengths of a square, and it's also a really good stepping stone for geometry. That was the intro to Pythagorean theorem. Thank you for listening, and if you need any extra help, please feel free to email me. My email is at the end of the slideshow. These are some extra activities if you want to learn more about the Pythagorean theorem. These are some of the resources I used to create this presentation. In the corner is my email if you need to contact me for anything. Thank you.